Ooh. Hold the podcast.
I've got the whole podcast in my hands. I'm holding it for you. Better hurry up, though.
Oh, I see where
I
we're going.
didn't see either right away. I was just like, it's no one's birthday.
Yeah, I was like, what are we celebrating here, Ryan?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Life Wide Open podcast. We got Ben, CJ, Micah, Little Boys podcast today.
Give me a hit.
I'm losing it.
Where is it?
Jeez, that was a big rip, dude.
Oh yeah, baby. That cannot be good for you.
Why do you kind of sound like Mini-Me from Austin Powers?
Wow, dude, didn't even share that helium over there, bro?
Oh, no, I got a whole nother balloon for you. Oh, whoa.
Take a hit, Mike. Mike might get addicted to this, though, guys.
Is it addictive?
Starts buzzing.
Do the whole thing.
I can't do that much, CJ. That's a lot of helium.
I don't even think I've ever done this before in my life.
What? Okay,
Hello. That feels so weird. Oh my gosh.
Bro, your voice sounds...
wow.
There's no way that's
CJ's first time doing helium. It's crazy.
I sound like Fred. Yeah, you
You
guys ever
do.
remember that, Fred?
Oh my gosh.
Why does your
actually-
voice still sound
Yeah,
different, bro?
CJ, hold up.
I took a pretty big
CJ's
hit.
is stuck.
It does sound
CJ's
different.
I
is
took a
stuck.
pretty big hit.
It never
Still
goes back to normal.
That
It's
would be
one
bad.
and only time doing it.
When
my
you were
voice sound good now?
a little kid, did they tell you not to cross your eyes because they could get stuck?
I heard
they
that.
They did.
Well, did they ever say the same about hitting helium?
I'm pretty sure
No.
people just
No.
told you not to do it because it was bad for you.
Cross your eyes?
Both.
No, yeah, the heat. Sure.
So I was thinking the other day, I ordered tires, wheels. I got my bumper on the way, lights. Anyway, I spent a ton of money on my truck. Finally going to get it looking the way I want it to. And it brought me back to the TC. I also had a memory of it pop up. I kind of miss that car. I kind of miss...
What do you miss about it?
I don't know. It was just kind of like a legendary ride.
I remember very distinctly when you were getting rid of that thing, you were getting rid of it for most of the reasons because you weren't sure if it was going to make it to the next day.
Yeah,
So
that's
what do you miss?
true.
What do you miss about that?
And I think completely the opposite. I thought you were just getting rid of it because you're like, man, I've had this car since I was 15. You know, before you even had your license.
I thought it was pretty
Like, I
funny
thought
seeing
it was-
him buzz around in it. It was like
Wow.
a fitting car.
That too.
But so what I thought about is whenever I would do mods to that car, I did it in literally the cheapest way possible. Like I never bought new wheels for the car until I bent the wheels and I had to buy Kens. Like we plasti dipped the rims. Remember when I had my rims white?
And
I
then somebody
love that.
and then somebody made fun of you and then you pressure washed them off immediately.
Dennis, our neighbor, dude, he was
Bro,
like, "Why
I
did
thought
you
it
do
looked
that?"
good. Why would you listen to a
I
no
mean,
offense, Dennis, but Dennis of all guys when everyone else is like, this looks sick, Ryan.
I did it, but you guys have also told me many things that are cool when they are not cool.
Dude,
just 'cause you wanna
transition
see
glasses
me.
are cool, Ryan. You should bring those back.
What have we ever told you that we said was cool that wasn't
What?
cool?
I don't know if it was that, but I just feel like we always are encouraging
know what
each
you-
other to do something because it's going to be funny, not because it's cool.
Or when you said, I think Ryan, you should go through with that car bed prank. That ended up being cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually just didn't want to put a halt on it. I thought it was going to be good, though.
I thought it was funny.
It had potential, yeah.
I mean, it did come out to being pretty
It
funny
did.
at our expense.
I laughed.
But I remember when I bought coilovers for that car, I had no money. And I had to do a blood draw study in order to get my money up so I could buy those coilovers.
You guys did some weird shit for money. You were always
Isn't
doing
there a
those
funny-
Axis. You guys were
Yeah.
always doing those Axis
Axis studies.
clinical
Hold on.
studies.
Wouldn't say always,
Yeah.
but
Do you guys remember, maybe you were trolling me, but I remember you guys went and did one of those studies where you go and stay there for the weekend or 2 nights or however long, and they pay you, but like they like give you like this pill or something. But I remember you guys were like, yeah, we're going to do this. They're going to give us $500 for the weekend. Like, come on, come do
No,
it
it
with
was
us.
like
1400.
$1,400.
Okay, $1,400. A lot of money.
Yep.
And especially back then. You guys like, come on, come do it. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I mean, that's a lot of money, and I'd love that, but
yeah, it's not for everybody.
I'm not taking a
Definitely
pill
not for everybody.
that they're
Not for
running
the
a
lighthearted.
study on. Like,
No.
you guys are the...
The
Are
guinea
what was the
pigs.
pill
guinea
for?
pigs.
What was the pill
Well,
for?
I don't know what.
Usually
don't
They
remember.
don't tell you, I don't think.
no,
They
they
didn't
tell you. I mean, so
Mike's
you can
walking
either.
around with a stiffy.
Well, that was the point. That was the
Then
point.
I'd probably figure that one out. But
Well, that was the point. Is they came home and you guys texting like our friends group chat, and I think it was Ryan. He goes, "Is anyone else having trouble getting a boner?" And then someone responds, "Yeah, dude, I can't get a boner," because you guys had spent all weekend sitting there, and you went home and immediately went to jack off, and you guys couldn't get a boner. And I thought that was the funniest thing.
You know why it was? Is because there was 48 blood draws in 24 hours.
That makes sense.
There was they were literally jabbing you with a needle every I think it was 15 minutes for the first couple hours.
Louise,
it was fucking awful, dude. You could not pay me $1 million to do it. You could $1 million to do it
Jeez,
now.
Ryan, you are really tainted now.
I'm just,
No,
yeah, I was
dude,
like,
it
I'm
was
just-
so brutal. You couldn't eat. You had to fast for 16 hours. You had to get stabbed 1 million times by they weren't like nurses. You were talking about emergency room doctors or whatever. These people were literally nurses in training.
Right.
Right.
They were
They
fucking you up.
bring them in and they go, all right, here's your training session on how to get
blood draws.
stab people. And then they're like, cool.
Go do
Go in there.
48 of
Yeah.
them for 12 hours.
That
I'm
makes
just
more
glad
sense.
that we're not in a position to have to do that anymore. I didn't think it was that bad, but it's not for the faint of heart. I'm not saying I'm some badass. It didn't bother me that much. Jake actually ended up having Jake Ryan and I did it. Jake quit halfway through because he got sick. Everyone's like, "Yep, that's what happens." That's not actually doesn't happen
He was
that
just a
often.
pussy.
But Jake did get sick, so he had to back up.
That's right. It was you three.
They paid him half still. So
But it was funny because it was you mentioned it, and then the other one or someone else chimes in. Yeah, I can't get one either. And then
I could
a minute later.
I could. There's only 3 of us, and I could get
Oh,
bonus.
maybe
so.
it was just Jake then that was like, yeah, I can't get one either. I don't know. But
sure we were
I
tweaking.
thought it was really funny.
I'm glad we don't have to do that anymore. You can do a little lighter ones with they just put shit on your skin, and then it's like lotion, and then they pay you $300 though. It's not as good.
I mean, your health is probably the most valuable thing you have. So
Well, right, but it's
I just don't
are you
mess with
going
it.
in there for
Bro,
them to
I needed those coilovers.
Are
I
they-
was risking it all.
Are they
to make your
messing
life
with-
worse now,
Yeah.
every time you drive down the street,
It was bumpy.
it was bad because you could only afford the cheap ones.
CJ always talks about you were pretty smart. CJ was pretty smart with his car mods. You never did anything really too
I don't mess with
half-assed.
Plasty Dip.
No.
he was
Stickers.
He was tasteful.
You were tasty.
HID
Whether it
lights
took
from
you-
Amazon.
Yeah, whether it took you driving a stock car for another 6 months, you then saved up the money to buy the tasteful
mods.
correct.
Well, I think it makes you look worse. No offense to anyone doing this, and there's plenty of people.
No, they need to hear this.
But I
They
literally
need to
think
hear this.
it makes your car look worse if you try to cheap out by making your... So, someone will have, a freaking Chevy Cruze, you know? Just a normal car, and it's a nice car, and there's nothing wrong with them. But then they try to make it... They treat it as if it's like a WRX STI.
Mm-hmm.
And they go in and buy the cheapest freaking wheels they can find. They don't look good. And then they put a racing stripe on it.
It still looks like
And
a
then-
monster truck.
And then they'll go to the muffler shop and get
the
the
exhaust
the
chopped.
exhaust basically just chopped and straight piped.
If they do that, dude, they might just go buy the freaking NVIDIA straight pipe cat back.
No, going to the muffler shop and getting your muffler chopped
the
with
cheap
just
way?
a welded. That's $50.
Sure,
And then it's they just put a bunch of stickers on it and they
LEDs
try to
all over
street
the
race
place.
everyone.
Yep.
That's what I feel like you kind of put yourself in that category. It's you want to be cool, but you don't really know how to do it.
Mike, you had your Buick, which was before we knew you. Did you do any shitty mods to that other than
Luckily,
the subs?
no. Yeah, it was the subs were that's what made it fun. You get in there and
Well, the subs, there's nothing wrong with that.
But, right, and so luckily I did not do any stupid mods to the Buick. But then fast forward to the Jeep. I had
The
a red
Jeep.
Grand Cherokee. Didn't do a ton of stupid mods on that, but plastic dipped the rims black, and it made it look way better. Way
Okay,
better.
that wasn't
I had
too
slightly,
bad.
but that's what I'm saying. There's levels to it.
There
There
is
is.
levels to it. And you also got to keep in mind, some people can't afford nicer things, but they're
Excited,
passionate
yeah.
and they're excited about doing any kind of work to your car. So CJ, anything that doesn't align with exactly what you would do, you immediately think it's bullshit.
It's not exactly what I would do. It's just
It
when
does-
you're
that's
putting
not-
a freaking
yeah.
racing
Yeah,
stripe on a
but-
Chevy Cruze.
Maybe the Chevy Cruze was gifted to them and they can't afford any
Well, I know
a
that's
different car.
that's fine. I guess it's just it looked better when it was just normal.
there's certain things that you just shouldn't do
Exactly.
to a car. But then if you do have a car and you can't afford the nicest thing, but you want to do little things, then let that be. You know, even though it's not an STI, like who cares?
Here's another example. My little brother, and he was a young kid, got his license. I don't know, he must have been 15, 16. And he had a 1996 Jeep Grand Cherokee. So it's not like a Jeep that's meant for off-roading. It's just a Grand Cherokee. For some reason, he thought it would be a good idea to go to his friend's house and cut right in the dead center. He basically just cut a hole in the exhaust to make it sound loud. And he comes pulling up to the house, and it sounded like complete shit.
Exhaust
Yeah.
leak.
Yeah, he basically just made an exhaust leak to make it loud. And my dad was so mad. He was so mad. Like, it just, I mean, it's, you know, it was a normal vehicle. And then it just immediately made it look like shit. Granted, it was probably, I don't know, it must have been dang near 22 years old at that point. Doesn't matter. But he was so mad. And I remember I felt bad for him because it was like he was trying to do something cool. He likes cars, and he didn't necessarily have a cool car. I understand that. But I sat down with him. I was kind of just like, you know, there's certain cars that you want to have loud. And there's certain cars that just really shouldn't be loud. Mm-hmm. And that vehicle isn't really a car that's should be loud. But later on in life, you can get a car like a Camaro. And then put a loud exhaust on it. That'd be awesome.
But most of the people that probably have a 22-year-old Jeep Grand Cherokee and they're 16 years old and they like to go mudding, they're probably going to just make that thing
I
loud.
don't know, man. I thought it was untasteful.
I'm picturing
I
you
mean,
having.
yeah, it probably is, but like think, let's go to his next car where he put the LED lights on
Right.
it.
So then the next car was a 2003
I like those.
Toyota Sequoia.
I still like those.
But
to
then,
this day.
so like, did it look the best? Maybe not.
No.
But I bet you every time
Looks
he
jankety.
walked out, he locked his car. You know the car guy look back at your car when you look back at? I guarantee he did that. And that's worth something.
I think
getting
it's
kids into car
cool.
culture.
Yeah, it's like you're doing the things you can do at the moment, but sometimes it's just like the short-term gain isn't always the best. You could have just saved up all these little tiny mods or whatever and just put it into something that would have made the vehicle better, or just a whole new vehicle. You know, it's like this 2003 Sequoia that he had. This is like a family vehicle. Like, I mean, it's a
Poor
family
Jake's
vehicle.
gonna be listening to this podcast being
I'm
like,
sorry.
yo, the
I'm
fuck?
sorry. Well, he was younger. He was younger.
Hey,
He was
but-
younger. He's got a cool ass Jeep now.
That's true.
Jeep
he
Wrangler,
leveled up.
and it looks dope. It looks dope. But you know, this goes back. Some cars just aren't supposed to be. Anyways, he had this 2003 Toyota Sequoia, and he like went through and plasti dipped all the badges black, and like, I mean, it was just kind of like, why? Why?
Mike's like,
if you
Mike's
do it
still
right,
doing that to this day.
They are the fucking
Ryan's
complete
over there
opposite.
helping him.
I'll do the tape job.
But back then, you guys were always plasti dipping all your stuff, and I was just like, it just doesn't. It's not the same effect.
yeah, but
yeah,
it
but it
costed
gets
the same
$6
effect.
instead of
and
$600.
it gets people like it's something exciting. It's like you're like, why don't you just save up and buy something big, bro? You want little dopamine hits of,
I guess.
of a little
I
thing
agree with
showing
that.
up, and then you throw it on, even if it's a
My
fucking
point is,
badge on
it
It's
never.
like-
You never make it what you want it to be. Like, they're looking at all these
And that's
vehicles.
okay. You can-
but you
can
could have just saved that
eventually-
money. Save your fucking money.
yeah, but
and
what
then,
are you really gonna make into what you want it to be if it's not a car that's going to be something cool?
save your money and buy something cool. Save it up.
Yeah, but
Bro, I
it's,
probably
it's,
spent like
it's tiny.
$25 on
Yeah.
Plasti Dip.
And it's
Okay.
like you spend.
I
20
understand
bucks a
that's
year.
very minimal, but it's just like there is times where you can ruin the car, and then it's like if you would have just left it normal and saved that money, you could have sold this car to pretty much anyone else on the market that was looking for example, a Chevy Cruze. But instead, you put racing stripes all over it,
And
cut
some
the
other
exhaust in half.
16-year-old
That's
kid
what
is like, yo, it's already got everything.
No,
I
no,
want."
no. But they don't pay for that car as much as it
No,
would be if
this
it was
is true.
just untouched.
Our
So now you
Polaris.
just
Yeah, but
now
those
you just
kids don't think of it like that.
yeah,
they don't
but most
care.
kids well, they don't have money to pay what it should be full price. So now they're getting the cheap one. So you just lost money buying all these shitty mods, and then you lost money on the car.
You lose money on mods anyway.
Yeah, no, you do, but it if it makes the car look better.
In your
actually,
opinion, though.
I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree. I don't care about Plasti Dip. It makes sense. Like, it's cool. Like, I wouldn't do it, but like, go ahead and do it. If it's fun, it's obviously removable. It's not permanent. But like,
That's true.
you put freaking Lambo doors on a Chevy Cruze. That's dumb. Don't do that. Save the money,
though, dude.
It is
I would
funny.
see that and laugh.
But don't do that. Don't do
don't.
that for real, because then you go to this car meet or whatever, and everyone's just like, "What is this guy doing?" You don't earn yourself respect. You just waste a bunch of money, and you just look stupid. And I'm just trying to help. Some people maybe don't realize it.
My cousin ran into a guy out in the public. I actually didn't know that this was a real thing. I did, but I'd never met anyone that had seen one in real life. A squatted truck, where it's got the lean in the back, and you can barely see over the front. Whistling Diesel has made like a couple videos on him. Hates them, and he kind of made it, very clear to the public that these are nuisances to be on the road, and they're ridiculous. I thought that they were built as a joke.
I just love that he's.
I didn't know that there was like people out building these driving around Minnesota roads.
And the more squatted, the better it is to these guys.
Yeah, so my cousin goes, "No shit, I found one in the wild." And it's a red squatted truck. It's like a 2004 GMC, basically what you would picture it. And then opens up the door. It's got the fur headliner and everything.
Yeah,
it's
there's
got, like,
certain
the
mods
dice
that go
hanging.
with it.
Yeah. So why is that a thing? That's something that shouldn't be done.
I agree, and how I love how Whistling Diesel's going after them.
I don't think anybody's
Nobody
defending them.
is defending them, and I just remember seeing there's one for sale in Fargo. It's just good old Carolina lean or whatever SWAT, and he is getting shredded.
He's
in
been
the
trying
comments.
to sell that thing forever.
Yeah, and it's just like, dude, wouldn't you rather just take
Not
the
gonna be able to
lift
sell it.
off and then not have to deal with the comments and get the truck sold? But no, instead, he's got one guy maybe interested and 290 other people being like, your truck's stupid.
Probably.
Well, it's not practical.
And that. It's yeah.
And who thinks that looks good?
he probably spent all his money trying to get this Carolina squat, and now he can't convert it back, and now he can't sell it either.
So I wonder, like,
Should have saved his money.
when you roll up to your girlfriend's dad's or something, and you're rolling in a big truck or a stupid little Ranger, like, dumb mods with plastic dip all over it or something. What happens when you roll up in a squatted truck, though?
Well, I don't think you're pulling up to a girlfriend's house.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, of all things you could
Or
pull
your
up in.
It's family. It doesn't matter.
Oh, that's funny.
Whistling Diesel's got this whole vendetta against squatted truck drivers. CJ's going to start one against Chevy Cruze drivers.
I don't have anything against Chevy
one, he's going to be
Cruzes.
like, fuck these guys. Who buys that?
I'm just saying that as an example. It could be
I
anything.
know.
Even
I
like
know what you're
in
saying.
my opinion, a Dodge Dart is pushing it too. Like, you ever seen that Dodge
Very
Dart?
similar.
He put a spoiler on the back.
That
like
was-
a
I mean, a
GT.
That one's an
wing.
anomaly, though. I think that guy might have been
So
drunk.
that kid, he could have just took that spoiler. Could not have been cheap. He had to install it.
I'm pretty sure it was an APR front splitter and rear wing.
So that
So,
could
like,
not
you're
have
in
been
4
cheap.
Gs to
Could
it.
not have been cheap. Right there, you
All right,
could have
that
just
guy's got more
upgraded
money
your
than
car.
brains then, okay?
Why not just upgrade your car to, like, you could buy a used Subaru WRX or a BRZ. It'd be pretty much the same cost as that car. But instead you just ruined that car. No one's going to want it. And you just spent a bunch of money.
I could see Mike
I'm just
buying
trying to
something
help
like
people.
that, though.
Honestly, just save your money.
Not now.
Or use it on something useful. That's my whole
Would you
point.
have seen
Like a
that
SEMA
Dart
truck.
and bought that, Mike?
Yeah, but our SEMA truck,
At
people love that.
What age?
different.
At 16? Hell yeah.
20.
Completely different.
I don't think so.
Anyway.
So
selling stuff,
at the
obviously.
end of the day, I guess, use your judgment when modding your vehicle.
You know,
There's
send it
levels
to
it.
send it to CJ on DM. Ask him if this is okay.
It doesn't matter. It's just my recommendation. I would have never went and spewed all that if I wasn't asked my opinion on it. So
That's true.
that's true. You
If
asked
I wasn't
me,
on my
you kinda
goddamn podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. So, like, that's just my opinion. Or, like, here's another really good example. You get carbon fiber wrap, and you wrap your hood. Dumb. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay,
it just
I can
looks
agree with
terrible.
that.
It looks
That's
terrible. Like I'm just trying to help, man.
All right,
whatever.
Fuck
I'm just
it,
giving
Ryan.
advice.
Go buy your TC back.
I'm buying it back. I'm wrapping the holding carbon fibers.
Super
and some
long
fucking
story
LEDs
short.
on it.
Dude.
My takeaway
All right, what, Ken?
of CJ's rant: don't modify your car unless you have a giant budget.
That's
Ken,
not at all
shut
what I'm
up.
saying.
Shut up. This guy sucks. He buys like 5 cars, is like on a car YouTube channel. All of his buddies and best friends and partners are all blowing their money on their mods and everything. Ken doesn't spend a dime. He doesn't even buy an exhaust for his Focus RS that it's meant to have an exhaust. He doesn't do that because he goes, I'm going to sell it. Doesn't sell it for 4 years.
He did buy Clevis's first Bronco.
Okay, so hot take. Ken, I think, granted you've had quite a few vehicles, hot take, gets more compliments on his vehicles than I think. I mean, now we've all got some pretty cool vehicles. All I'm saying is Blue RS that got the Tesla. He gets a lot of compliments. He drives the Bronco to the bar. Granted, it's not modded, but a bunch of guys, you got that new Bronco. That's really cool. But if like I had a 2021 Ford F-150 lifted and had a shitload of money into it, like clean though, no one would really. They go, nice truck.
Ken, you were talking about modifying the Bronco until we started saying, well, Ken, if you're going to do it, then you got to at least go all out and
He's
get
like,
this
I'm gonna
size
put like
lift
a half-inch lift on it. I'm like,
and this size wheels. And he's like, well, if I go too big, it won't fit in the garage. We're like,
God
park
forbid
it
you have to.
outside.
God forbid he hops in a cold car.
A 4-inch lift with 37s is not big enough.
Is that what you ended up going with?
Well, they can't fucking order anything, so.
He wanted smaller, but he had no choice.
Is that what you went with?
Well, so far every lift is on back order for like 6 months, so. I'm taking what I can get.
All right. Well, baby steps, Ken. I like to see you.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
I like to see you at least open to the idea.
I may have another one on order next week.
Yes.
Oh.
Another Bronco, Ken?
What Bronco could you be getting that would be better than the one you have? You guys can guess.
How do you get that?
You gotta ask people.
Don't worry, it won't show up till 2025.
Oh yeah, no.
Ken, you and Amelia pulling some strings?
No.
So last week, we finally got to go check out our new land that we just got.
We finally did. We could have at any point. It was funny.
No, you don't want to ruin the authentic
Right.
reaction to it.
It was a good thing
And
we
it was
did.
good.
It's a good thing we did.
I agree.
So, we got this land, and you could kind of see it from the road, and there's a decent-sized patch of trees, but I just assume there's nothing back there, like all of us did.
And
So
I know we
go-
said this. We legitimately drive past it at least once or twice a day.
I mean, it's just right next to us. And so anyways, we go and we're exploring it on video, and we're walking through this patch of woods thinking like, this is just going to be a bunch of trees back here, but we'll be like, this will be cool for putting a trail for dirt bikes in it or whatever. We come across this old house. There's an old abandoned house, an old abandoned outhouse.
There's an outhouse and like a shed.
And like a shed, and then we see this well pump, and it even still goes up and down. No water came out, obviously, but it said 1890 on there. I don't know why. We were just all so surprised by it. It was so cool.
Yeah, and we talked to some people that have been around the area, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know that you say that there did used to be a farmstead, but it was falling down when I was a kid."
Yeah, and these people
Yeah.
were like 70 years old.
Yeah,
I mean,
Really?
the people that obviously must have lived there in that time, they had to have been some of the first settlers of
And the
Cormorant.
air- had to have
in the late 1800s.
Why would
There had to have been no one here, dude.
Why would they go there?
I don't know. How do you
That seems
think
so
about
weird.
that?
near water.
Not really. It was a swamp.
Yeah, but I think the water table used to be higher.
No, it was lower, I thought. Because the lakes were divided and then they came.
in the the 1900s, they were lower after the drought. That's when they went way
Right,
down.
right.
But I think they were higher back then. I'm not really sure. I'm not a freaking geologist.
It is interesting though, because imagine that, you just start heading west, and then you're just like right here. It's super cold in the winter, miserable, and very hot in the summer.
Yeah,
Here's something interesting. Detroit Lakes, which is a town right nearby, was founded by a French guy. Well, no, Colonel George Johnson in 1871.
Okay, so it was founded 20 years before that homestead was built.
Wow.
So I bet it was founded.
And I hate to be a Deborah Downer here, but this pump is from 1890. I don't know if that's, they didn't go to the store and buy it brand new and say, Planet, it's 1890, let's go.
That's true. But I mean, in the same era.
Yep. Yeah.
But the
100 years
railroad came through in 1877. That's when they built the railroad here.
But I can't imagine many people were hopping off and, like this is our spot. Like there would be very few.
Why would you want to stop here for how brutal the winters are?
Well, they probably didn't know how much further or really even how close they were, to the edge.
Man,
we find out CJ's a flat earther.
And also imagine you've been traveling for so long. You know how long that took and how miserable that was?
Yeah, you're probably just like, you
got a whole family, all your stuff. You're like, all right, I've had enough of this. We've been in this little horse carriage, dang near died multiple times probably. And little Timmy is sick with polio or whatever.
Yeah.
And
we got to stop.
Like it's just let's stop. We're good here. This looks good.
I think there's like a thing about how if like the strong people made it to the West Coast, and if you were lazy, you stopped in Colorado. Like that was the stop for lazy people because you'd made it across the easy part of the country.
How lazy could you have been?
Well, pass.
True.
But yeah, right.
But
you kept going. That makes sense.
Although there was they were the top % of like the adventurous people, but they were the people that got there and were like, fuck this, we're done with this. And then they just stayed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you didn't have to go over the mountains and all that stuff.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
makes sense.
Nowadays, like if you're known for being in like the Midwest, like generally like the men around here are pretty tough. I'm not saying we are, but like a lot of like men, I'd be very hardy. Confident. They're
Winters killed them off.
No, but I get what CJ's saying.
Like I'm saying, the people that live here now are like you're a hardworking person.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't really get away with being a lazy guy around here. A lot of these people are farmers or blue collar. Like you work hard and use your hands. And
I don't know if people, because the Oregon Trail. Well, where did the Oregon Trail? Like if people were going west. Were they going through Minnesota though? That seemed high.
Yeah, like not
we were
even.
like that's what, I don't know if you came the north way if you were trying to go west.
Right. Like I don't think people were stopping here.
Like you maybe got to Chicago.
This almost seems more like destinational. Like you were going up. Maybe not. I don't know.
We need a freaking local geographer on.
Yeah, seriously. This area had to have been mostly for what? Timber? That good, is
timber and farming, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the house that or the shed on our property in the woods, granted it's all fallen down. When I was looking at the walls, it was literally just trees. Like they had a tree and they just somehow sawed it right down like the top in the long way, and they didn't even like do the other side. So like the other half of like
the other side
is just like a legit tree.
Oh yeah.
You're like, it looks like a tree.
Yeah.
And then the inside they just like made their own cement and just put it on the walls.
It's
literally looks like they like spread it out.
Pretty impressive
with,
that chimney is still standing.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though is the rental house I just bought in DL was built in 1900. So,
really?
Yeah.
What? Wow. That old?
Yeah.
1900?
Yeah.
Like just flat 1900.
1900.
The fuck?
You're
writing history, Ben.
Yeah.
Holy smokes,
historic.
Ben.
Yeah.
We're just all concerned.
Yeah. No.
Did you know it's old?
That's really old though.
Yeah, but if you look at it, you wouldn't think
they
that.
kept it up. And
it looks fine, and the foundation is fine, and like everything is like not 123 years old or
because they just don't build them like they used to.
Right, but then you also go into the woods and you're like, so they built this 10 years before they built that?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Holy
like,
smokes,
there's different levels. Like, I don't know when freaking skyscrapers were built, but there was technology in that time. But then there was also people that were like, we're going to go start a farm in the middle of nowhere. So there was different levels of living. Like there was probably places where you took a bath at night, and then there was places where you went to the pond and got water.
Well, NDL is a town.
Yeah, it's like a city. Like my grandma grew up, and she is like 80, in her upper 80s. Like they didn't have power when she was a kid.
Wow.
But you could live in the city. Like the fucking Empire State was built.
Yeah.
Or the Empire State Building was built.
And
like there was different levels of life.
But did they have power in the Empire State Building?
I'm pretty sure they did, yeah.
But like,
I mean, you've
That'd be
seen all those
crazy,
pictures
dude.
in New York when they're riding around on horses and stuff.
so congrats on that rental house.
Thanks,
It's
dude.
exciting.
Yeah.
We got our accountant. He's like, buy real estate, buy money making assets. And we're
Well,
like, of course.
He said we're football players. He's treating
Oh,
us
yeah.
the same equivalent of an athlete
Yeah,
that could just piss away our money and then go broke.
that's exactly.
did
He
tell
must
me
have
that,
told
too.
all
yeah,
of
yeah,
this. Okay.
He said, I'm treating you like a football player. I was okay.
He's like, yeah, I spend money, have fun, but spend some money that will make you money too. I mean, it's good advice to have. And he's all about us meeting more people to get us better advice. He was stoked that we bought the land. The land's not necessarily going to make us money because we don't plan on selling it, but it's going to make us money
In the content.
in the content for sure.
Man, I'm excited for spring.
It was
it's
cool.
gonna be cool to go
It was-
and check the, I guess those properties or the abandoned buildings when there's not a bunch of snow.
Snow
There's
covering
so
the
much snow
whole
we're
thing.
tromping through.
Yeah.
What is our plan with that? Like,
the
take it down, leave it.
I don't. Well, it's tough because and I'm not saying
That's
that.
weird. Yeah, it's like I don't know. Do we clean that up?
I think we clean it up a little, but I think we like leave that foundation. It's tough. I got
It's
a
kinda
little
cool.
a little
Yeah, it's
less
cool.
excited about it because when I was younger, living in the country, I would like go wander and kind of do that. Didn't find anything quite like a foundation. You know, you find cars and old barrels and like obviously sheds and whatever. And so I like to leave it. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Unless you want to put something there.
We should go start putting like our cars out in the woods. Like we
Yeah.
can put your Ranger out
Yeah.
there.
Every time we destroy a peanut instead of the scrapyard, we just start putting them out in the woods like they used to back in the day.
People are gonna.
Why did they do that?
I probably couldn't
Because
get
it
rid
was
of
the
it.
same
Yeah.
way on my grandparents' farm.
That's
there
what
was
I'm
just
saying,
cars,
cars.
in the woods.
Yeah, why
and they'd
is
been
that
there
a
for so
thing?
long. There was
Why would you
trees.
sell
I don't know
them?
how they would have gotten them
Yeah.
back there. They've
Well,
been there for that long.
I mean, look, we got 2 snowmobiles out
That's
in
true.
the
We're
woods here.
slowly
We've got
becoming
a
those
couple
people.
of them over there.
Good.
Like,
So we're at a good pace.
yeah, we're at
then.
a good pace.
But
we're
we're
picking it up.
There is like a major transition between when those snowmobiles out there now, which are very sad, just buried in the snow, between now and when a tree starts growing through it. Or so, you know,
True.
but it was really funny too. Yeah, someone I worked with that like lives around the area drives by, takes a snap of the Ken ban, and then just goes, "Why'd you guys just leave it out there?" I'm like, "Where have you been? That's been
a
parked in
jump.
there for so
What do you mean,
long." I
why'd
mean
we
that
leave
too,
it out
but
there?
like I'm like, you never saw that? Everyone's just like, it was the first thing they noticed. You just left that Ken ban out there.
It's almost like a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Like a billboard.
Speaking of sign, I want to get a freaking huge
Yes.
flagpole. I want the
Oh.
biggest flagpole.
Still yes.
I was gonna say I want to put like
I
an
want a billboard.
advertisement
Yeah, I
sign,
want a
like
billboard.
billboard,
Okay,
like
we
the
can do that too.
interstates. Imagine
We've wanted
that.
to do that for a
I
long
don't
time and
know.
just said home of.
No, I think
mean,
it just
do
says
that?
CboysTV.com.
Yeah.
Can you just throw that up?
And it's just us like this.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
if you
so
build
silly.
your own,
Smiling.
is there like rules?
Or
We'll
just,
talk
it's
to
like the
I
most
think we
useless
should-
billboard. We just have it say hi. It's like,
Wow, that's
Or
what I was
like,
like
does
all
it
the
say smile
billboards that say
today?
smile.
well, yeah,
yeah.
because I was like, well, we could do something funny, and as long as it brightened everyone's day, they'd remember it. You know, if it said CboysTV.com, they're
hey,
not.
you could change it up as much as you
yeah,
want.
true.
Should we get a digital one then?
No, I want an old
$25,000 bucks.
Just like-
25,000.
That might be more.
Might be more. I'm talking big
Like,
digital.
You
like
could put
something
like
you would see in a movie
announcements
theater.
and stuff on there.
Yeah, like new merch drop, or like let all the neighbors and shit know.
Dude,
Congrats on
but
your
then-
weight loss, Ben. You know, stuff like that.
And
And
we
it's just a
think,
constant thing for us
But-
to just change. Every day we're changing,
Dude,
just
it'd be
putting
a
random shit up
blast.
there.
You could
We
put
got,
funny stuff up.
we got like the local business owners coming to us. They're like, all right, what's the going rate? I want 10 seconds for on Fridays.
Yeah, Friday's our day where we advertise for Ken's drinking. So.
Yeah, we have at least 30. We can
Congrats
guarantee
on your sobriety.
We'll be at the,
we can guarantee at least 30 people drive by it, so we charge more.
No,
What if we
we
did it?
gotta
so
find
funny,
one,
though.
and like it's gonna be put right into the foundation. Like it's gonna be in there, set into the ground. It's not coming down.
Billboard?
now you got me on this digital billboard idea.
we don't
What
want
if
to-
we
I
did
know,
it-
I
what
know,
if we
but
did a
I want an
digital
old-fashioned
billboard?
one.
Or what if we just did a billboard and it says, "Days Ken's been sober."
always
And it
says
keeps
zero.
saying zero.
For the record, we're attacking Ken a little bit on this. It
I
could
know,
go for
sorry.
any of us, but that's funny. That is really funny. Just zero every
Change
time.
it to like
Or maybe
days
us
for
one.
CJ, like days jacking off 0.
We're gonna need some like equipment now. I just watched Whistle and Diesel's excavator video. I'm not gonna lie, super entertaining.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that thing
he
was
spent
insane.
450 grand
on just the excavator though. And then I love how like he destroys the bus and then a shipping container and then the tractor was hilarious. He just drug this tractor around like a criminal behind a horse in the olden days, like just flying everything around, and it made me really want a $500,000 excavator. But
You should buy one, Mike.
You should, Mike.
Dude, Mike.
I've been thinking about it, but
Do it.
I got to make my money work for me. So like, do I rent
Excavator Mike.
Mike starts a
Construction business.
that out with just the biggest excavator I can get my hands on?
You're picking up small landscaping jobs.
Um,
It'll take 50 men with shovels 3 days, but I'll do it in 10 minutes.
So then, yeah, like whatever happened to that, excavation business you had, Micah? First job I had ended up knocking half the house down, so got sued.
Lost
Got
the
out,
excavator.
lost the excavator, got out pretty good, and never went back to dirt work again. They actually don't even let me drive skid steers now. It's just a legal thing.
Mike just dummies a customer's
That's what I'm
house.
saying. I'm like digging in, and then
He would come out and be freaking out at him, and he'd be so calm, like,
What?
What?
It
You
was.
need to calm
It
down.
wasn't my
we're gonna
fault.
get this figured out.
It's,
I mean, it is what it is.
it's
You
like
need to chill.
when you hire an arborist to cut down your tree in the front yard, and then they cut it down the wrong way and it lands on your house.
If you're an arborist and you cut a tree down on someone's house, it's like, hey man, I hired you to do one thing, and you did the opposite.
Well,
was
it's tough
so
getting a
funny.
chainsaw guy, a lumberjack to come over. Even when your roommate's brother's one. I can't even get Cody to come over. Ken just goes, yeah. We can't give Cody too much slack though, because he came and
He
cut
helped.
the hole in front of our house for the ice for you guys on pretty short notice. So
Yeah.
I got an interesting topic for you guys. So we didn't post that video because we didn't end up posting it at its expected time or the planned time that we had, because we needed to finish it and cut this hole in the ice, and you guys were going to jump in, and that was going to be the end of the video. It would have been weird if we wouldn't have put that in or
Right.
held it until the next one. So, and we're trying to cut the ice. Ended up just taking a lot longer than expected. And we post this thing. We're like, hey, we're not going to be able to get the video out on time. And there's like, I'd say they're a very small percentage of our subscribers, because obviously it's just the people who say something get noticed. But I'm not kidding you. Like, just the meanest, most aggressive DMs just calling us like lazy pieces of shit. Like, you need to get your shit together. Like, what are you doing? You guys are so dumb. Just being just flat out mean.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm like, what? So you like watching our videos so much that you obviously must like us, but you also like them so much that you are chewing me out, calling me a lazy piece of shit. Like,
Yeah,
I've been
legit
working on this
yelling at
thing
you.
for 2 days. Like, you don't realize how hard it is to put this together. But it's such a weird concept. They like you so much, but they're like talking to you, literally trash talking you. Like, they hate you
Yeah.
because you're not posting a video for them to watch of you just doing whatever you normally do.
It's unfortunate.
Man, they are confused individuals.
Yeah, I almost,
confused.
dude, I almost ripped some kids back, but honestly, it's just not.
so
I don't
hard
really care.
not to.
Yeah, but it's just like I'm not gonna waste my time responding to something like that. You're just an idiot if you
Yeah.
if you DM us stuff like that. You're an idiot. I'd rather respond to somebody who has a nice message.
That's true.
Spend the time saying
Yeah.
something back to them.
Which we try our best to do. Again, I think we've said it, but like I would be lying if those comments weren't the ones that I wanted to reply to. And some people aren't quite as mean, and some people are just like, yo, are you guys good? There was no post on Thursday. Seriously. If there's anything wrong, you should let us know or something. And I was like, no, it's good.
Damn,
we
homie.
missed the Thursday for reasons that we can't explain over an
For
Instagram
reasons
comment,
to-
but
yeah, to make a video for you. Then you end up having 2 videos this week.
Yeah.
We had one Monday, and then we're gonna have one on Thursday. It was still the same number of posts.
yep. And after a certain amount of time, I'm talking like 2 weeks no video, maybe 3 weeks no video, you should be concerned. Unless we say
In our
something.
world.
Right. Yeah, for us,
Well,
but
and
even
anyway,
even with
I
like
guess-
so many other there's
Or it's
YouTubers
okay.
that literally don't post. They sometimes post 1 video a month.
Yeah.
But
And
that's, yeah.
I wonder if they get reamed like we get reamed.
Yeah, I know.
But also like we're pretty like we've been on the schedule for so long.
That's
But-
true.
But still, it's just sometimes things come up. It's just how it goes.
Yeah, that's the tough thing about being on a schedule.
It
I
is.
think being on a schedule works in our favor so
Better.
much more.
I
than
think-
it
Yeah,
works
I'd agree with
against
that.
us.
I'd agree
Being
with
on a
that.
schedule on YouTube, I think works better for most YouTubers.
A
Yeah.
lot. I
and-
think
It creates a routine.
it creates a routine.
But mostly for the viewers. And when the viewers are on routine to watch our videos at a certain time, it boosts the numbers and everyone is
I'd
happy.
agree with that, but also it's for us because otherwise you can just
Well,
keep
yeah.
saying like, "Oh, we'll do it tomorrow.
Right.
We'll do it the next day."
Yeah.
Oh, we got time.
I think that's the difference between idea-based creators and then relationship-based creators. If you're an idea-based creator, it doesn't really matter
True.
when the title and thumbnail pops across your viewer's screen. They're going to click on it either way.
Eventually.
Right, but-
either it's, yeah.
But relationship, they build some kind of trust in you. And then as soon as you...
It's like a routine.
Right, it's a routine. And they're like, well, Thursday night,
I
So
always
true.
watch
watch
the
the
Cboys.
Cboys video. And then as soon as they miss one Thursday, they're like,
They're like mad about it. Yeah, it kind of maybe threw off
Yeah.
the routine.
Yeah.
But it's tough because we are just as much idea based as we are just vlogging
Yeah, I agree
whatever
with
the
that.
heck we're doing. You
Yeah,
know, like we try to make
yeah.
our videos as good as possible and as big as we can within reason. So like that's where that sometimes comes in that way.
yeah.
But
I
moral
think that's
stories.
I think more of the
We're
stories,
just
that's
trying to
why
make
we're
the
doing
best videos we can.
good. You know, I
we've
think
also
it's
been
like,
doing it for a long time, Thursday nights.
yeah.
You know, so it's not like we're switching up the schedule where it's like, yeah, we're on a schedule, but, you know, sometimes Mondays, sometimes Thursdays, where it's like every single Thursday guaranteed, and then the sprinkling Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So missing a Thursday is a little tougher. You're going to get more, we're going to get more comments if we miss a Thursday.
Yeah, but if that makes you mad, your emotional response is wrong. You
Yeah.
should just be like, well, I now am looking forward to Monday. Or like, I hope they're okay. Or I hope that they're getting something done. Or
It'd
I'm
be
excited
like
for what they
me
have up.
messaging
Yeah.
Logan Paul like, dude, fuck you. You need to get your shit together, man. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but figure it out.
You
Yeah.
lazy
You need to
asshole.
you need to start posting.
Yeah.
Like it'd be just so it's so weird. It's like I don't know, it's just a weird way of encountering it.
And maybe it's the way because we have like dealt or like now that we are creators, we see the other side of it. I just don't understand how someone can be upset.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't
well, it
make
is a
you,
compliment in a way though.
That's
yeah,
true.
It's a
it
compliment.
doesn't like you make them any doesn't make you like them any less.
I'm
right?
glad
No,
that
that's
we're
true.
able to elicit such a
Response.
strong response out of people
Yeah.
because they must like it obviously. So
It'd be a problem if nobody said anything.
yeah, right. Then I'm not complaining. I
That's
just think
true.
you could say it nicer.
That's true.
I did think it was funny when they called us cheap fucks for not hiring an editor.
Dude, I wish we could.
So obviously, you guys know we are working with Polaris, and the new 23 sleds came out. We just got to ride a few of them in a video. It was super cool. They boosted the trail sled.
Put turbos.
They put factory turbos on the trail sleds. Even the short track, the 128. It is
Bananas.
bananas. I
A
can't
rocket
believe
ship.
I can't believe that they could sell these to people.
It's a safety hazard, dude.
Dude, the snowmobile I have right now is already
Plenty.
so fast. Like, have you? Obviously, not everyone maybe has seen it, but you will see it. Ryan wheeling this thing, it just wheelies on its own. Like you could wheel it over backwards if you really wanted to. Like a snowmobile, really, you
dead
couldn't
stock.
do this before. Like just very recently.
You had
And
to
in
like
the
set it
same
up.
Segment also go over
just completely
100
stopped.
miles an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bro, you can't legally drive a car 100 miles an hour, and you're telling me you can strap yourself
going
to
100
something?
on a snowmobile is very sketchy in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Unless you know exactly like where you're going. But if you're going across
Still
a lake,
sketchy.
if you're going across a lake and you haven't done a test run, it is so dangerous. There could be an ice ridge. There could be anything. You
Yeah.
know. I remember one time when I was a kid, me and my dad. I must have been like maybe 8th grade. We're going, and we were probably just going like maybe 50 or 60 across this lake, and
Still buzzing.
we're buzzing
Highway speed.
and anyways, he was like up here, and then I was behind him, just by a little bit, but like next to him at the same time, if you get what I'm saying. And he hits this ice ridge because it was kind of like the visibility wasn't great. Hits this ice ridge, and I'm dead ass serious. So he hits it and flies in the air.
Your dad?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was really high, like to the point where I was looking underneath. Like I saw the bottom of the snowmobile,
shit.
and I immediately grabbed the brake and like kind of like absorbed it and managed to, I still jumped a little bit, but like I was able to prepare for it. My dad, for a dude who should not be airborne, I mean, he landed like on the front of the snowmobile, like his leg like bent the handlebars down, broke the windshield. He like tumbled off to the side, which honestly he landed pretty good for a dude who's never hit a jump in his life. But I mean, it just happened like that. And ever since then, I'm like, I need to know where, or I just let someone else, if they want to drive super fast, I'll ride right behind you. But I'm a distance myself. It was back before you had phones with internet on them, or at least we didn't have them. And he had this Garmin that we would use to like navigate the trails, and he had it in his pocket, and that's the part that like hit on his leg on the handlebar, and it like crunched it, like crunched it around. I remember.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
Jeez.
But yeah, these new sleds that they just released are like legitimate rocket ships.
Yeah,
because they used to use the turbos to make up for the power you lost at elevation, and now they're doing
On
it
mountain sleds.
Yeah, on mountain sleds, and now they're doing it on the trail sleds for around here. So they're just making more power. And if you think about the comparison of like a Subaru Impreza to a WRX, imagine strapping the same device to something that weighs like 400 pounds.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing. They have, I shouldn't say as much as a WRX, but circling back to Ryan's TC, that had 180 horse. At the time, it didn't seem like a lot, but 180 horse, it was plenty. That's how much these snowmobiles have.
And they weigh 400 pounds.
So fast.
I actually didn't see that
Ridiculous.
coming. They don't like obviously disclose this information to us. I didn't see the Midwest turbo coming because I was at my brain. Not necessary.
Yeah, you don't
Then-
really need it.
They're
Then
so
we
good right
rode
now.
it.
They have to start doing that. Though,
know,
I guess.
yeah.
I don't know.
Then we rode it, especially the Assault, little longer track. If you guys like doing wheelies, that is, I don't know. They all do wheelies though.
Now, yeah,
You know?
I think an 850 will do wheelies.
Yeah.
And so when they came and like, they show up with the sleds. They have these two sleds, and then we're like, wow, turbo snowmobiles. That's really cool. Like, it was a complete surprise to us. And we had to sign these waivers because it was like a month before they were going to be announced. And these were like the 2 units, and they were going to be going around and showing them with other athletes. I literally spent like 2 minutes on it because I just didn't trust myself. I was like, I'm not going to wreck this thing. I'm not going to wreck it. I don't trust myself. I don't want to be the one who does it. And Ben dang near wrecked it at the end. He hit a tree.
So close.
I mean, tapped the tree, basically. But if you were going any faster.
He was going like 60
Yeah.
and then went
complete
down
breaks.
to 0 and used the tree for help.
I couldn't see. My goggles were like completely iced
Excuses.
up. So I came over a hill and I'm looking through the bottom part of my goggle, right? Everyone's been there. And I'm like, okay, I think this is a corner here. I was like, oh shit, this is a corner. Grabbed the brakes, did basically nothing, and I hit like a snowbank that just pushed me around a tree, and then I just got smoked by a branch. So I was like in this tree well, like this basically. And then the dude Nels that brought the sleds up to us that works for Polaris just poked. We see his head poke over the hill.
He didn't even want to come look.
And he sees the one that I was riding in this tree well, and David,
I don't blame him. I feel
David
bad.
goes, because David was up there with him. He goes, please tell me that isn't the new one.
The problem is these are one of one snowmobiles. Like they are hand built prior to this. Like they don't come off an assembly line. Like I don't know how much they're worth, but they're basically priceless. Being considered that
They're
this
the only
snowmobile-
ones, and they need to use them as the marketing unit.
Yeah, like this snowmobile is then going to go back to Polaris and then be used to take pictures of so they can market it for like
They
the
probably
whole
already
thing.
took pictures, maybe, but hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah,
If
still,
they were
it was more
smart,
so-
they did us last.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They probably did, honestly.
But then we're out there riding it and like, I mean, say something had gone wrong.
It's
You
just
broke a
long.
prototype,
Yeah.
like 101 thing.
It's pretty weird because I don't know what exactly they're gonna do with those, but it's just like the marketing unit, like cars and stuff that they'll send out. They crush them. I
Crush
think.
those,
I
yeah.
think they have to because there's not a VIN number on it or something.
Yeah.
Or why is that?
Does anyone
Probably because it's not built for
Consumer.
consumer.
Or it's
so
not
it's
built
like-
to be bought.
Yeah,
that's
and
why.
they probably just don't,
and it's something
have
like
all the same
It's like a
warranty
testing
kind of.
unit or
it's
I don't
something
know.
like when they're
It's
hand
just such a waste.
I don't know if they do it on a car, but when they're hand building a machine, it's not considered OEM. So it would mean this like big company is selling a modified vehicle to a consumer.
They should give us them, and we can just launch them off a jump. They're gonna get wrecked anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Let us
Might as well
wreck 'em.
make it entertaining.
So then
They're watching this right now, like, why have we never thought of that?
I had this idea of, I
Duct
clearly
tape.
didn't come up with it, But as many times as we brought Whistling Diesel up in this podcast,
Jesus, Mike, you got a boner for this
I've only
guy.
done
Suck
it
his
2
dick,
times.
dude.
This is only my 2nd time. Sorry, I'm not sucking his dick, man. He crunched up all the Toyota Hilux and then the 2 things and put them in the jars. I thought it was cool, and a lot of the things in cool. So we were like, what if the Fast and Furious movies crushed up anywhere from their like Hellcat to their Pagani? What if they crushed that up and put it in jars? I would buy that. Part of the new Fast and Furious movies are getting kind of ridiculous, but I would buy that to support of it. Yeah, like these cars do get crushed after that. I would totally love to have a piece of like Paul Walker's car. Granted, that I think those ones go in museums, but
Yeah, I think some
a lot of
people
those
were
new
able to
ones.
sell 'em,
yeah.
I just saw
That's a
this
pretty
guy.
good idea, though, Mike.
Yeah, that is a pretty good idea.
You know what, Mike? You should do that. No, CJ, you should do that with your Dodge Darts.
I don't have anything
No
against
one's gonna
Dodge Darts. I just
Chevy
don't
Cruises.
think
The Chevy
that people should stick 10 grand into modifying it over the course of 2 years.
No, I saw this guy. He blew up a Lamborghini, like a mid
for
2000s.
crypto.
Yeah, it's technically
Oh,
selling
yep.
as an NFT, but he blew it up, and then he's going to be sending pieces out to people that buy a part of the project.
Okay. Very similar. Yeah, it's like, and I remember a lot of people saying that.
So
oh,
you spend money for this NFT, and I'm gonna send you some scrap.
Of a blown up car.
Right. I love how that
I mean, the
that's looked at
genuine-
as stupid, but then you buy it without an NFT attached to it.
Yeah,
and they're
but
like,
Whistling
nice.
Diesels is more of a memorabilia.
That's what I'm saying. But if
part
he
of his
attached an
video.
NFT
Yeah, it's a
to it, then all of a sudden it'd be
memorabilia
this big NFT project and it'd be like, okay.
But I just think buying a part of a blown up Lamborghini is fucking dumb. Like, could you imagine it sitting on this
why?
shelf
Why would
and
you
it's
do
like
that?
in a
You'd have
jar and
to-
it's just a bunch of shit? And they're like, oh, what is that? Like, oh, some YouTuber's Lamborghini or some guy's
Right.
Lamborghini.
Oh, so
But
in
if it was
general,
like-
you don't like the idea.
No, I
if it
like
was
Whistling Diesel's
Stradman's
idea.
or like
Yeah.
it has to be a memorabilia
Yeah.
type item.
Oh yeah, yeah.
you
Like
know?
you wouldn't
it's like
just,
a novelty item.
Yeah,
that's
it's
cool.
not just any guy
Yeah. It's
going
not just
out
like-
blowing up his
Yeah.
car.
Like if we went and did it to Ken's Bronco, everyone would be like, "Yo, I want
Yeah,
a piece of Ken's
but if
Bronco."
we
But
went
if we
and
did
got
it
our
to
ha-
like,
yeah.
if we went out, literally walked to this car lot right now, bought a car, blew it up, and then sent it out, people would be like, "I don't
It's
care."
not as cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to put, and that's the fun part about all the vehicles we buy on our YouTube channel is bringing the sentimental value to them. The Shambo was just a piece of shit Fiero kit car until we made something cool out of it.
Dude, I saw a Shambo going for $60K.
They're kind of ridiculous.
So then that made me think.
Should we have not left ours in a snowbank?
maybe
all
we did
winter?
it good.
Well, I was like, yo, everything else is appreciating in value ridiculously. Did our kit car too?
Dude.
Maybe I've seen some ridiculous prices for kit cars, and it just makes me go, ugh. I mean,
I'd-
ours
I
was
would- I'd
ridiculous.
be down to get rid of it for $60K.
well,
well, obviously. Yeah.
I'd be down to triple our
I
money.
don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly really love that thing. It's just a content making machine. It is. It's gold and probably pretty hard to replace.
Apparently, it is for $60K.
Yeah,
So-
screw that, dude.
I know what I've got.
I know what I've got. It's fake.
It'd probably be harder to obtain another fake Lamborghini of our caliber compared to just going and buying. I mean, obviously, you could go and buy a new one if you have the money, but you'd have a harder time finding a fake Lamborghini than.
Ours is nice, and that every time I look at it in the snowbank, it does make me feel a little bit bad.
I don't feel that bad about it.
I
It's
was
fine,
yeah,
dude.
like I was
Oh,
over
the
here.
seals are all terrible.
Yeah, but as long as it's not melting,
I think it's
doesn't
tough.
really matter.
I actually
gonna.
I
well,
feel,
then that's when we
yes,
got to get the snow off. And
But
keep
I
it
feel
dry.
less bad because we leave it with the windows down while
In the
it's
summer.
pouring rain.
Yeah.
That's got to be way
Many
wetter than
times.
the snow melting in. And every time I watch it, I go, man, I hope we get another snowstorm so the Lambo just covers completely up.
We should set
I
a
don't know
little
why.
live stream up on it, and then people can guess when the Lambo will be uncovered. in snow. You know, it's like
It's
when
like when the
penguins are
ice
being
comes
born or
off
when
the
the
lake.
ice goes off. You go like, okay, guess the date.
When penguins are born.
Yeah, the zoos do it. Like when they have like a baby polar bear or something like that that's going to be born, they like set
Oh,
up
yeah.
a little cam or an eagle,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
hatches, and then people.
Well, those
win.
are a little bit higher ticket items than the penguins.
Could we sell that? Like
Penguins.
sell raffle tickets to it?
We could run ads on the live stream.
That'd be so dumb. I mean, not the ads thing. I love the idea.
So is it dumb or do you love it, Mike?
I love the idea. If we add one thing, we go put the Shambo on the ice, and then
It falls
it
through.
falls through. I don't want to do it with the Shambo though either.
Now we're
I like
getting
that
somewhere.
thing.
Let's
Yeah.
do it with your WRX, Ben.
Let's do it with
I
the
don't know
Ranger.
if I like that idea as much.
I'm pretty sure it was cheaper than our fake Lamborghini.
I don't even know if that's legal because we'd have to retrieve it, right? People
I
do
think
that.
do it in
that'd
our
be
pond?
Completely illegal.
Oh, maybe. Our pond is only a foot and 2 inches deep.
I think our pond is grass right now.
I'm
it's
pretty sure
toasted.
they wouldn't take it very well if you deliberately sink a vehicle to the bottom of the lake.
Yeah, I mean, Vlog Creations drove their RC car into the pond, and it took them freaking 2 weeks to retrieve.
There's a little bit of a difference between a Ford Ranger and an RC
Well,
car.
that's what I'm getting at.
What does that have anything to do with it?
If it took them that long to find their RC car,
I think
It's
we could
not gonna be
find
Ford
a
Ranger.
car.
We're gonna find,
Sorry,
bro.
I meant to get it out.
That's
Yeah,
a totally different story. It's not like
You
we're
would find it
bobbing
pretty
with a
quick.
magnet.
they weren't either. It's still a car, and they still couldn't get it out.
It is an RC
Are
car.
you delusional?
You know what we should do?
It can. So you're saying
should we
we
do?
would find it and get it out within days?
I don't want to ruin this moment of Mike trying to make sense.
I'm. What are you saying right now?
I guess I'm saying like, how long would it take us to retrieve the Ranger from the lake?
I don't know. A
day.
day?
Oh man, that's pretty good.
Dude, you call a scuba diver. They
and
come
what do they
here.
attach it to?
They report it to the DNR. The DNR shows up. Our good friends, they'd be pissed. Write us a ticket. Well, they'd probably be pretty happy. They'd write us a ticket. It'd probably make the news. And then, actually, it'd probably
Haven't
tick a lot of
learned
people off because there'd
how
be
to get
fuel,
it out.
I don't think you
oil
can just
going into it.
Well,
but
Mike-
you just call a scuba diver team.
Dude,
they
they
come
re-
in.
they
They
recover
attach
those
a
things all the
floaty
time.
and they pull it up. People sink their vehicles in
But
the
that's
lake
in the winter.
But
though.
that's
all
in
the
the-
time.
Hold
in
on.
the
Wait,
winter.
that's in the winter.
That's what I'm getting
Has
at.
anybody?
That's what I'm
No.
getting.
It's
It's
No,
not
but
delivered
it's
in the
still
winter,
doable.
Mike. All they have is these big floaties. They're super simple. You go
Yeah,
down
you'll
there,
just float it
you
up.
attach it, you
and then
it
air
just
it up.
airs up.
I didn't
it
know that.
Carries
Drag
it right
it
to
to
the
shore.
surface, and then you
That's cool.
tug it to shore. But where I was going, it'd be really fun to get our scuba diving license. And you go at the bottom of the lakes and you start getting, because there's so much weird stuff at the bottom.
Is this
of
where we
the
learn
Cormorant
Ben's also
Pelican.
scared of lakes?
I hate that
It is
shit.
going to be very creepy.
I
I
hate
agree.
that shit.
Because
Dude, we
it's
should do
weird.
that.
Because it's weird. Going back to how like farmers used to just throw like their vehicles in the back of these like woods and stuff. They would used to go out in the lake for some reason and drop like They
garbage,
used to
but
dump
also
their
like
garbage, which is kind of weird, maybe because there's like cars and stuff in some of these lakes.
there's a
and,
car
like,
on DL still.
So
So,
was
Mike,
that car
yeah.
stolen? Why'd you put it? Because it seems like a lot of work to go drop it off in the lake. Were they hiding it?
Fell
They kill
through
somebody?
in the winter and they just
Oh, they just never got it.
recovered it.
But
Fair
they're
enough.
also, like we were talking about how the lakes were way down. Like the lake used to be there.
Yeah, there's
and
like
there
a
was some guy's
sidewalk
farmyard.
and foundations.
think?
Yeah,
But
so
I
they
think
just
it'd be
left
cool.
it.
Also, just imagine
Bikini Bottom,
if
bro.
we're going across the middle of the lake and we do happen to sink it 80 feet down. If you have your own scuba diving license,
And that's
we
what
don't
I
have
wonder.
to call the scuba diver guy, and we just swim down, hook that thing up with
To
a really,
what?
really long rope, and we pull it to shore.
With
Okay.
Ryan's wakeboard boat.
And we're gonna have Ken on the back holding the rope.
That is where I wonder. And so you say 80 feet, deepest part in Big C is about that. We get our scuba diving thing license. What can we do?
I mean, dude, bro, 20 feet can't be that hard. Or
20,
like
I
30
agree.
feet.
20,
I think you can
30?
go as deep as you want.
Okay, right. And so Ben's just like, I don't like that
You just
feeling.
have to-
That's
Hey,
gross.
I'm not.
I'm not trying to go deeper than 30 feet.
It's gonna be scary
That's
and it's gonna
scary.
be dark.
Yeah.
It's
But
not. I
it's
don't
gonna be
think.
cool.
I don't think it's that.
I'm down to do it with you, CJ.
I don't
think
think
it's
it's as
really
dark as you
cool.
would
It'd be
think.
I think
interesting.
the problem is going to be finding the time to get scuba certified.
Each morning, CJ and I are getting up at like 5 a.m. to go get fucking scuba certified.
I tell you
Yeah.
what, you
CJ
guys
and I will
do
get
that. You
scuba
guys do that.
certified,
I'm
you
gonna
guys
get my
get
pilot.
skydive.
Oh, I was gonna get
You
my
get-
pilot license.
Oh,
Okay,
you get pilot.
yes.
Mike
and
and
then
Ken
you
get-
guys can skydive out of my airplane.
And then we'll skydive with Ryan and CJ strapped to our chest and then
Into
release
the
them
lake.
right when we get above the lake.
Dude.
And then you guys keep
This is
going.
brilliant. This is brilliant. Who's gonna film though?
Oh, shoot. Evan.
We'll have a filmer. We'll have a filmer by
We'll
then.
just strap GoPros on your guys' head.
The airplane
They'll
license
die
actually
halfway
is a
down.
really good idea. I was listening to, I guess it was Nelk's podcast, and Wires Only was saying that it's like you buy like an airplane and it's all tax deferred.
Oh, yeah.
You can deduct the entire
The
thing.
whole thing.
Yeah, and
Maybe we should buy an air. I mean, obviously it'd be like a little dinghy. It'd be like it'd have propellers. It wouldn't be a
But
jet or nothing.
So would we be able to put an airstrip on our land, or is that not
Probably
quite
not
long,
long
enough?
enough.
I don't think it is. But it'd be cool. Maybe.
no,
It'd be a
probably
real
not, yeah.
small
That
little
trees.
airplane.
We'd have to talk to whoever owns that other part and say,
You'd be
"Can-"
surprised though. Airplanes aren't like the really small personal or like couple passenger airplanes aren't that expensive.
No, you
like
can,
they're
you
not
can
as
get
much as
into
you
an
think.
airplane
I'm not
for
saying
like 50.
right,
G's.
and that's
Really?
still a lot of money. But like when you think of an
50 to
airplane,
70,
you
probably
think
70.
like that's
a little
there's
cheaper
No way
than
that's
that. Yep.
affordable. You know.
When you guys
Dude, I'm gonna get my pilot license.
Great. CJ, I guess we'll hold you to
manifestation.
I don't know when I'm gonna find time, but I'm gonna do it eventually. Because how sick would that be to just we gotta go somewhere?
It'd be very useful. I'm not
To-
gonna
if
lie.
if we're going out west, we gotta get a nice plane then.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like this.
Just you guys for I don't know how many hours. It'd definitely be a lot shorter
Instead
in
of
the car,
12
but you're like,
hours, it's 8 hours.
just shook. It's freezing up there because it's just.
I'm dialed in. Ryan's over there, and Mike's passed out in the back. Sounds pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, it does.
No, dude,
I love the
wouldn't that be
thought of
sick
that.
though?
Yeah.
If one of us had our pilot license,
Obviously.
for how many times we would use that?
I would use it all
I'm
the
not,
time,
and I'm
I
not
feel
like shooting it down at all. I'm just like, if this is only if we have our own plane, right?
Like I said, you
You
can't do
shooting
it.
down
then.
my plane, Mike?
Fucked up, dude.
I'm not like shooting it down, but I was like target practice. How like if this is we have to have our own plane for that, right? Or is that what you're saying?
Nah, you can technically. You don't have to. I think it's easier.
Oh, not to get it. I'm just saying, but like for us to fully utilize, not I mean fully, but I'm saying like, what do we do if we don't have a plane and you have your pilot's license? Do we go?
I mean, if I had
rent?
my pilot license, I'd probably buy a plane.
Okay, that's what I was kind of asking.
Maybe with the company money.
Yeah,
but-
Ken's paycheck maybe.
Yeah.
But Ken likes flying, or does he?
You wouldn't like flying in my plane.
No.
He only likes
I
it
love
when
that. I love CJ.
That's what it'd be like, dude. Like the planes that we can afford, they're gonna be small and they're gonna get shook. But
think
you're
about-
gonna get there faster than a car.
Ken only likes flying when there's a little flight attendant wearing a tight dress bringing him booze.
And he's sitting in the front, and I'm sitting in the back in the middle. That's the
As
only
far
times
away from you as possible.
Ken ain't hopping in my plane.
Yeah, he gets in. He goes, no complimentary peanuts. Then they're here. Just fucking pour them out. I'm flying.
Speaking of planes, one of the Ukraine pilots shot down like 6 planes, and then now it just came out that it was like fake, or it was like the ghost of Kyiv or something.
Yeah, no, I saw that was fake.
Do you know that's fake?
Well, the sources that said it was real are just as sourceable as the places that said it was fake. Like that's why I feel like there's so much fake shit constantly.
Dude, it's just
Hold
crazy.
up, what
'Cause
happened?
just think about
What
this.
happened?
Think about this. Obviously, unless you live under a rock, then you know that Russia is invading Ukraine.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's this Ukrainian fighter pilot that supposedly shot down a bunch of Russians like fighter jets or planes or whatever, and now it's like fake. But my point that I guess I was gonna say, and Ryan was like, yeah, I don't know what's real because you got people saying it's fake, there's people saying it's real, and they're just as reliable as each other. This is the first ever war in a time where everything is so accessible, you know?
On social
True.
media.
You know? Like people in Russia are able to like be like, we don't stand for this. Imagine if they didn't have social media. You could probably sitting over here and be like, dude, all the Russians are like nuts. Like they want this, but it seems like most of the Russians are against it than for it.
I'm not sure about the social media side of things. I wouldn't be surprised if it was with that too, but I know like most of the media in Russia is all tailored to.
Well, for them, but they're posting this on social media and it's making its way over here from Russia is what
That's
I'm
what I
saying.
mean. So like we know now that there's a lot of people in Russia that don't support the
And
war.
you're also able to see all the terrible things going on. Like, you typically wouldn't be captured because everyone's got a phone and everyone's got a 4K camera on it. Like, did you
Isn't
see
it
that
crazy
video?
to see the Ukrainian videos of like just out their
These
window?
bombs and shit.
Yeah.
It's terrifying, dude.
Hate
I feel
that.
so bad for them, and it's just it's terrible. It's terrible. It's so dumb.
I said this in my friend's group chat. I said, I use the term pretty cool, but pretty interesting. This war is captured in 4K. Never before would you ever get to
Never
see
has this
7,000 cell phone clips of everything. The day of, the minute of.
Dude, it's so real and raw, obviously,
Scary.
and it's just terrible.
Have you guys heard of Anonymous? You know, like the dudes who wear the mask. They're basically hackers.
Yeah.
And they made a response. Again, you can assume this is real, but it's just a dude in a mask talking. But they threatened. They're like, and this isn't just Anonymous saying this. It's like everyone's like, we're seeing what's going on here. No one likes it.
No one,
no
one has
anybody
Russians
with their
or Putin's back.
anybody with their head on straight is like, this is fucked up, dude.
So what
And-
was Anonymous saying?
And so they said, we're with everybody. We're with NATO. We're for these sanctions. We will do everything we can to hack your government. We're taking down sites left and right, and they're like, that's just the start. But they're like, we'll do everything we can, and every corner of the world will come after you via hackers, and that's just one way to attack. And it seems.
Wonder how secure they are. You want to know something really admirable about this whole thing, though? That you would have never known who Ukraine's president is. Like, I didn't have a clue about it before this, but that guy is amazing. What a great president. I guess I don't know a whole lot on him, but just from what I've been seeing, he's got his boots on the ground fighting with the people.
It's crazy.
Pretty much, I would say 99.9% of presidents wouldn't do that.
Don't do that.
Like, that is just awesome, I think.
What's your guys' opinion on Ukraine asking for like normal civilian help?
I think that they're doing what they have to do.
Yeah.
They're so small. It's like, but imagine this, Ben.
Do you think that they're getting, if normal civilians are fighting alongside of like very highly trained professionals, do you think that they're almost just getting in the way?
I don't know if they're necessarily fighting. I guess I don't know exactly
In
how that's
certain
working.
instances.
But if you're just defending your home with a gun,
yeah.
and they gave you a gun because
Is that what they're
You're
doing?
better off
Are they
than-
just
they're
handing out?
basically handing out weapons.
But I think you're able to do as little or as much as you want. But if it were me, I think that's what I would be like, cool, I'm armed now.
Yeah, I don't know enough. I
I'm
guess.
not unarmed. I'm not useless.
Right. They're probably more useful with it. Imagine this though, Ben. So at first I was like, fuck, that would suck, dude. Like if I was being invaded by Russia and Ukraine's rather smaller, significantly smaller than them, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
Quite a bit smaller military as
like
well.
it seems kind of like doomsday. You'd be like maybe in your best interest to run, but you have to leave everything you have built, everything behind. So if Russia or someone was invading here, the United States, you wouldn't run. You'd be like,
I don't think so.
I'm fighting. You'd go down with it. At least I would.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna. It's it's their home.
Because it's tough. And then, like, I mean, I thought about that in, like, our position. Well, where do you run? I guess you run to Canada.
Yeah, but screw
Or
that.
Me- that's
Can't
one
get
thing.
in
Or
unless you're
Mexico.
vaccinated.
I wouldn't do that.
And and then, it's just an example, but it's like, yeah, can you imagine relocating to just a province in Canada, but not just relocating, just getting out of there and trying to get across the border? No, I think you'd kind of try to hold your own.
Just imagine, and I hope this doesn't happen, and this isn't gonna happen. Just gonna say it. But imagine if they did, like Russia invaded here, like Biden's whole policy on like taking guns and stuff. Like we're all unarmed.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't have any ammo. We don't got shit.
Unarmed person is pretty much useless.
Is he gonna start handing them all back out? Yeah, it's just crazy. This is like a time you just never really thought something like this was gonna happen.
Well,
in
because
this day and age, in established countries,
Dude, Russia just seemed off to me.
It's same. Even when like Trump and Putin are working together, I'm like, oh, so we're good with Russia then, I think.
Russia just had a lot of pent up aggression, and they were just waiting. He's been planning this forever. I watched like a little documentary on Putin's rise.
He was just waiting for Trump to get out of office.
I don't know exactly why he picked the timing right now, but it is interesting. He waited almost until he saw like a little bit of
soft spot,
weakness.
Yeah.
Maybe I get a kick out of seeing like Joe Biden talking shit to Putin.
To
stupid.
preface all of this, none of us are experts on this. This is us spilling our feelings, talking about what we do know and what we, I guess, think, some of our opinions, but we're not experts on it.
No, and I think we're just watching it like anyone else, like on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or really whatever you see.
That's that. I think the tough part, on a really, really real note, I'm like posting about the 23 Polaris sleds that just came out today. Like, I can't believe I'm hyping my followers up for this, which is a big deal to us, but there's a full-on war going on across the world.
Yeah, it really puts things in perspective.
Yeah. It is a crazy time. But hopefully everything can, resolve,
Resolve with the least amount of destruction.
Yeah, right. Well, guys.
Yeah, we kind of took off on a serious turn there.
That was, we kind
Yeah,
of
I guess that was like
that was all just right off the cuff. We didn't really have much to talk about, but it was still fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to it. It's about as real as it gets, I'd say.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I think we dropped 3 pieces of content this week, so we're happy about that. 3 videos.
Hey, if
2
you guys
videos,
are
1
lucky,
podcast.
I might even drop an Insta pic.
All right,
Jeez.
You guys like, fuck you.
Anyways, thank you guys.
Peace.
We'll see you next time.
Subscribe, like,